I'm a bad boy and it's playing.
Okay, so a couple things are gonna get addressed in this video. First of all, Chimes. Second, join my Discord server. I'm gonna need my the help of the voice actors and stuff because I'm going to be creating not only a movie, but there's also gonna be Deepwoken and Steel Ball Run. So if you want to help with either of the two projects, or you just want to ask more about it, join the server. It'll be linked in the description. I will pretty much explain everything if you want to know about the stuff. But pretty much. I'm sure you've seen the intro clip in this video. I mean, it's gonna be the intro clip, right? So, first of all, there's that. Second of all, I kind of want to talk about balance, right? Because I wanted to make a whole like new build, like either Nioya or my new Steam Hailbreaker build. I have a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, and I gotta pick through it slowly because I want to do a bunch of things. But pretty much, this video will be talking about the balancing of Deepwoken. And it's not in a terrible state. I mean, really funny. And this is the only time I'm gonna mention heavy weapon, and it's something I think is dumb about heavy weapon, like in a way that I think heavy weapons should get nerfed with this one aspect because it's not supposed to do this, right? But pretty much, if you look at and look, there will be more things that I will mention, like, oh yeah, make the heavy uppercuts a little bit faster again. But look. 48 damage, right, with the uppercut. 52 damage. There is supposed to be... So, with the way uppercuts are scaled, pretty much the swing speed changes the damage of your weapon. So, with uppercuts, especially on, like, light weapons, I'll showcase. With, like, a light weapon, look, right here, 15 damage. And then right here, 19 damage. And with light weapon, you can confirm shaky block. So, pretty much the way it works is light and medium are now benefiting from uppercuts even more, and then on top of that, heavy weapon is also benefiting from uppercuts even more. So instead of making uppercuts be used for the intended purpose, or at least making them a less strong mix-up, it is now stronger across the board for everybody. I feel like this is obvious. It shouldn't be like this, especially because heavy uppercuts doing pretty much the whole damage of the M1 was the problem in the first place, where you could do big damage while swinging fast. But now, with the light weapons and stuff, it's light and medium weapons, it's every 3 seconds, you can now do the damage of a quote-unquote heavy weapon without having a heavy weapon. Especially because you're going to actually have scaling on these weapons. Like, if I had scaling on this, and I hit the uppercut, it would be doing about the same damage as my normal Hailbreaker M1, meaning the way light and medium work is they're now doing pretty much the same damage as a heavy weapon. I mean, they were before, but now it's even crazier, right? That's a small side tangent. It's not super important because the placebo effect makes all the Deepwoken players think heavy's nerfed. Like, you check Deepwoken in general, they're like, heavy got gutted, heavy got buffed in the update, and nobody notices this because nobody actually tests the stuff. Especially the people, well, actually no, the people in the top Chimes server, they do test things, and I really appreciate Kicksari for inviting me to the Chimes balancing server. The people in the server don't really like my opinion too much, but I at least get to see what they want to talk about, and I kind of know what is going to get buffed and nerfed. So, fortunately, I could kind of be, instead of doom posting, I could say, oh yeah, Deep's going to be, like, dropping good updates. I can't say much, because that's a leaking, and I've been told that if you leak, you're not supposed to leak, so I'm not going to leak anything. But I kind of know things that are going on in the balancing server, which is where the changes do happen. But the only issue I have with the balance server is primarily, yes, the top Chimes players are good at the game. Like, I'm not saying any of them are bad, but I mean, there are some that are notably better than others, and there's some people who aren't in the server that should be in the server. And in fact, there are some people in the server who shouldn't be in the server. Like, a lot of people are saying I shouldn't be in the server because I don't get top Chimes. But if you look, not only do I play every region, I don't dodge anybody. And I kind of play for fun. If you look at any top 250 currently playing the game, there are people who just, like, run around the map and stuff. And the thing is, there's, like, literal current Godseekers that I've fought before. And I'm on the same skill as them, but I just don't play, like, to win. I just play to have fun. Which is why I'm not grinding Chimes 24/7. So, theoretically, if I just hopped off my main build, and I got on, like, Blood Fowler or something, I could get Godseeker. It just doesn't sound very enjoyable. Because sure, I get Godseeker, but what, it takes me like a week to get it, of just constantly grinding Deepwoken? Now I don't want to play Deepwoken, now I think it's a bad game. I think Deepwoken's a really good game. So there's that. But the issue with the Chimes Discord server is, whilst yes, they do know what's strong, they don't willingly admit what's strong. And I'll get into that in a second. But pretty much, the people in the top Chimes server know what's good, right? Because they use it to get ranked. And they only play whatever gets them ranked, right? So all the people in the Chimes server, most of the time, they're on Gale Breath and stuff, right? So, like, they're either Gale Breath, Chain Warden, or Jet Striker. Those are the typical 3 things you'll see in Chime. But a lot of the time, like, I remember asking, oh yeah, why is Jet Striker the #1 oath if it wasn't because Jet Kick is good and all this other stuff is good? And they just said, oh, but it's not good though, with no thesis or explanation as to why it would be necessarily good or bad. And sure, yeah, the top Chimes players, they're good at the game, but being good at the game doesn't mean that you know what's good or bad. And it doesn't mean that you're going to willingly admit that whatever you're using is good or whatever you're using is bad. What happened over here? I am so washed, it's actually so bad. Okay. But pretty much, the Chimes top players, they're good at the game, right? I will admit that. But I don't think any of them actually think about it from a balancing perspective. They just think about it from a, what I'm using needs nerfs. Or what I'm using needs nerfs, but I'm using it, so I don't want it to get nerfed, right? Because, like, most people don't want to get their stuff nerfed. Like, you ask me, oh yeah, should Hellbreaker get nerfed? I probably would, me being biased, I would say yes, Hellbreaker needs a nerf. In actuality, does Hellbreaker need a nerf? Yes, Hellbreaker does need a nerf in reality, but you'll never hear somebody like me saying Hellbreaker needs a nerf because I wouldn't want to get my thing nerfed. I feel like that's kind of obvious. But does Hellbreaker need a nerf? Yes and no. The way Hellbreaker works is the crit's lingering, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But with a lot of the Deepwoken players, they're so uncreative with how they fight new things. They don't try anything new, so they kind of lose. I mean, with Hellbreaker, it's really simple to counter. Pretty much all you gotta do, if you see somebody doing the Hellbreaker crit, either run away or just keep willing on them. Like, let's say right here, this ice patch is me charging up a Hellbreaker crit. Hellbreaker crit, oh shoot, I break my parry. 1, 2, 3, M1 feint, 1, 2. I've had people hit that on me before, and I'll check my clips to see if I have any clips of it, but there's literally, like, you could do that to anybody using Hellbreaker, so naturally, I don't think it's too stupid, but the fact that you could true confirm pretty much anything in the game off of it is kind of dumb. Another thing that's kind of dumb about it is the full freeze that it doesn't work the way it should. You have to have the 100 talent to make it work, but the thing is, if you give it the full freeze, like, from the start, then it's going to now be the strongest weapon in the game, and it will be an S tier. When right now, it's like, it's quote-unquote an S tier in the Chime servers and stuff, but it's really an F tier if you figure out, yeah, you could just M1. So there's that, right? But the people in the Chime server, they don't really want to balance whatever they're using, so they don't say, hey, let's balance this. But if you look at it from a non-biased perspective, like nerfing everything slightly or whatever, you could see Deepwoken has way more offensive than defensive options, which isn't a bad thing, especially considering the fact that you're supposed to play offensive to kill people, and there's a saying, offensive is the best defensive. You don't need to play defensive, you're playing offensive. That is pretty true. And then also, you gotta understand, like, theories for, like, fighting, the fighting theory for, like, games. Like, aggressive, passive, all this stuff. Most of the players don't do that. But I will be dropping another video today on this build, because I've been messing around with, like, Abyssal Ridge and Ice Blade and other moves. It's actually really fun when I'm using the other moves. So if you want to check out that video, it'll either be released today or tomorrow, depending on whether or not I'm feeling lazy, if I want to get on Minecraft. Pretty much, that's all I really have for this video. I don't want it to be too long. But Chimes players, again, this is not me going after anyone in specific, or me going after anybody at all, because I feel like, to make my point, if I go after people, then the people who I'm going after and their friends will no longer view my point as good, because I'm now going after a group of people, which I'm not trying to go after anyone. Like, sure, Chimes is not my favorite thing. I mean, I'm ranked. I was ranked, like, 300 before I actively started, like, dropping because I didn't dodge anybody. But, like, it's not that bad. Can you... Okay. Well, there's that now. No, don't kill him. I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. Okay, so that's really all I have for the video. Yeah. I will... Okay. Cool, we're out.